You're listening to The Deep Dive with Mike and Mandy.
All right, get this. We're diving into the world of women's basketball, right? But hold on, because it turns out being a superstar on the court doesn't always equal a superstar bank account.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a head scratcher for sure.
We're talking about Angel Reese, NCAA champ, LSU legend, now WNBA rookie sensation. She's been making headlines, but not just for her game.
It's her finances that have people talking.
Exactly. This is Angel Reese, arguably the biggest name in the WNBA right now, and she's saying she can't even afford rent on a rookie salary, you'd think.
You'd think she'd be set for life, right?
Right.
Well, her salary is publicly available information. It's around $73,000.
Okay, not bad at all.
Not for most people, no. But then she drops this bombshell. Her rent is $8,000 a month.
Wait, hold up. $8,000 for rent?
You got it.
That's more than some people make in 3 months.
Tell me about it. And the way she even talks about it, she's like, I am living above my means. Like, it's just a casual thing.
I mean, she's got those major endorsements, Reebok, Beats by Dre, even Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. You figure that would help.
Oh, for sure. Endorsements are a lifeline for a lot of these players. It's how they bridge the gap between their WNBA salaries and, well, reality.
It's like they need a side hustle just to make ends meet.
It really makes you question the value we place on women's sports.
It's crazy, right? Because it's not like she's just sitting back relying on those deals. Reese is out there hustling, joining this new 3-on-3 league, unrivaled.
I've heard of that, yeah. A lot of WNBA players are getting involved. It's smart, finding ways to maximize their earning potential.
Absolutely. And, you know, a lot of players head overseas in the offseason, right, to play in leagues that pay way more.
Exactly. It shows incredible dedication, but it also highlights the need for better financial opportunities here at home.
Speaking of which, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The WNBA versus the NBA.
The pay gap is massive.
It's mind-boggling. You've got Steph Curry making over $50 million a year in the NBA.
Yeah.
And Jackie Young, the WNBA's leading scorer, an absolute beast on the court.
She earned just over $250,000. It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Even Kathy Engelbert, the WNBA commissioner, admits there's a problem.
So what's the solution?
Well, she talks about the WNBA being a young league compared to the NBA. They're still building that fan base as big TV deals.
That makes sense, but still.
It's not just about revenue, though. It's about how we value women's sports, how much we invest in them.
It's a much bigger conversation, isn't it? It's about societal expectations, gender equality, the whole 9 yards.
Absolutely. It's about creating a future where these incredible athletes aren't struggling to pay rent while they're out there representing their league at the highest level.
It really makes you think. What do you make of all this? Let us know, because this is a conversation that needs to keep going. We'll catch you on the next deep dive. Okay, so Epic Universe, huh? Big plans.
It's going to be huge. Everyone's trying to figure out the ticket situation.
Yeah, and looks like we've got the intel right here. People want to be strategic.
Which makes sense, right? It's not every day a whole new theme park opens.
Exactly. New park, whole new set of rules. This is going to be interesting.
And this is where it gets kind of different. We're talking phased ticket release, no single day, no 2-day options straight out the gate.
Ooh, okay, so you're locked in for a bit more of a commitment right off the bat. Interesting. So how's this whole thing shaking out?
So for now, your choices are 3, 4, or 5-day tickets. Each one, and this is key, includes 1 day specifically for Epic Universe.
So even if Epic Universe is the main event, you're kind of signing up for the whole Universal experience for a few days at least.
Yeah, for this initial rollout, that's the deal. But look, it's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Think of it as, I don't know, maximizing your time. You can hop between parks, hit up the classics, maybe even discover something you never even thought about seeing before.
All right. I see what you're saying. Turns out, being a Universal Orlando pass holder has some serious perks this time around.
Oh, yeah. If you've already got a pass, you're golden. Early access to those single-day Epic Universe tickets starts October 24th.
So there's definitely an advantage to already being in the Universal loop.
Big time. It's all about that flexibility, you know? Snag a date you want before everyone else even gets a shot.
And for everyone else, it's a waiting game for those single or 2-day tickets. They'll be up for grabs closer to opening day, whenever that is.
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question, right? And honestly, the closer we get, the more those single-day tickets start to feel like a bit of a gamble.
How so?
Well, yeah, you get more flexibility with dates now. But waiting, you risk higher demand, maybe even sold-out days, especially if you're dead set on being there that opening week.
True. True. There's always a trade-off. Speaking of trade-offs, have we talked about the price tag on this whole epic universe adventure? Because, let's be real, this isn't going to be cheap.
Yeah, no, you're right. We don't have the complete pricing picture just yet. But just to give you an idea, those 3-day tickets, they're starting at $374.
Oof, okay, yeah, that's a commitment.
It's an investment in an amazing experience. And look, you got to remember, that price, that's just the base. Expect it to bounce around depending on the time of year, just like their other parks.
Yeah, that makes sense. All right, so bottom line, what's the game plan for someone looking to navigate this whole epic universe ticket situation?
Honestly, it all boils down to your priorities.
Right.
How much flexibility do you absolutely need with your dates? Are you cool with committing to a multi-day universal experience right now? Or are you all about that gamble, holding out for those single-day passes and hoping for the best? Only you can really answer that.
For sure. It's a personal choice.
Yeah.
But hey, once you've got those tickets locked and loaded, get ready. Epic universe. It's going to be legendary.
Legendary is an understatement. This is going to redefine theme park experiences. Mark my words.
I don't doubt it for a second. All right, everyone, thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll keep you updated as more information comes to light. Until then, happy planning.
And may the odds be ever in your favor, especially during that ticket rush. Ever feel like you're drowning in headlines? Like the news cycle's this relentless wave, and you're just trying to keep your head above water.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what we're tackling on today's deep dive, hitting pause on one of those stories that frankly just leaves you reeling.
Right.
Beirut. We're talking Beirut today. Strike near a major hospital. Casualties. Chaos.
More questions than answers, it seems like.
Always, right. So let's unpack this. Let's figure out what we actually know, what we don't, and what it all might mean.
That sounds good.
Okay, so initial reports out of Beirut are, well, they're grim. 13 dead, including a child.
Oh,
At least 57 injured.
that's awful.
It happened near the Rafa Kouri Hospital.
Big one, right?
Yeah, the largest public hospital in the whole country.
Exactly. And from what we're gathering, there was no warning.
So even more terrifying for the people caught in it.
Absolutely. And that's what makes these situations so tough, right? You've got this immediate human cost, which is just, it's staggering.
It really is. But then on top of that, you've got this scramble to figure out what even happened. Like who's responsible, why? And the early reports, well, they're not giving us a lot to go on. They're not directly blaming anyone for the strike.
Right. And that's not unusual in these early stages, unfortunately.
But we do have a statement from the IDF. They're saying they were targeting something in the vicinity, but not the hospital itself.
Which, sadly, is something we hear often in these kinds of conflicts.
It is. It always is.
And, it instantly raises questions about, well, the fog of war, sure, but also, how's that information being used? Because strategically, that IDF statement, it's crucial for them.
How so?
Well, they're trying to manage the narrative, right? By saying the hospital wasn't the target, they're distancing themselves from the tragedy, at least publicly.
Okay, so it's about public opinion.
Absolutely. And international pressure. Because if they're seen as deliberately targeting a hospital.
Yeah, that's a whole other ballgame. War crimes, all of that.
Exactly. So their statement, it's not just about what happened. It's about what it means in the bigger picture.
And this is where it gets really tricky, right? Because we're talking about a conflict zone. Information's limited, often unreliable. You've got propaganda flying around, conflicting accounts. Well, how do you even begin to sort through all that?
Carefully and skeptically. We always talk about this on the show, but it's especially true in these situations. You can't just take anything at face value.
Right. You gotta be your own fact checker.
To a degree. And even then, it's tough. But asking questions is crucial. Who's the source? What's their angle? What's the context? These are all things we need to be thinking about constantly.
Because there's always more to the story, right? There are always layers we might be missing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So where does this leave us? Well, with a lot of unknowns, for sure. But what we do know is this. A horrific event has taken place. Innocent people are dead. And the search for truth is going to be long and messy.
And, what really strikes me is how this event, as tragic as it is, it's just a snapshot. It's a reminder that the world is a complex place, things are constantly in motion, and what happens in Beirut, it doesn't stay in Beirut.
Right, there are ripple effects.
Exactly. So while we're here trying to piece together this one event, it's worth remembering that there's a much larger story unfolding, one with global implications, long-term consequences. And it's on all of us to stay informed, to think critically, and to care, frankly.
Yeah. To not get so caught up in the headlines that we forget about the human costs.
Exactly, because that's what's really at stake here.
It always is.
You're listening to The Deep Dive with Mike and Mandy.